So Kate Darling, a roboticist, she has a book called The New Breed, where she talks about these kind of roles of robots where they're doing dangerous jobs like clearing the sewer. We had a project with Audi to explore how they might use robots or social robots. So for my robotic mental well-being coach that I was working on for my PhD, the question we're answering was, could a robot help with people's well-being?
Minja AXELSSON,
Yeah.
welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah.
Yes. So when Alva invited me to the 3-minute dissertation, 3-minute thesis, kind of last minute, I didn't know I was going to meet such great people as yourself.
Oh, thank you. Lovely to meet you too. Your talk was super exciting as well.
Thank you. But yours was better. You won. You won the 3-minute thing, right?
Yeah.
Amazing.
I was happy about that. Yeah.
Yeah. That wasn't my first time in one of those, events in 3-minute dissertation. That's really cool.
Yeah. I haven't been to one before either, but I
really?
watched some on YouTube, before preparing my talk. So
is that like a tradition, a methodology?
Yeah, I think it's like a like
the third, part of the podcast.
The third party.
Third party. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like they do competitions at different universities, and I think there is a kind of overall one as well.
It's a thing.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Nice.
But I think it's kind of a good thing to do, to be able to pack your research into 3 minutes.
It is a challenge.
Yeah.
It is a challenge.
It is a challenge.
Because not we. I have done different kinds of dissertations as you have in your PhD, but it's so hard. Like for my case, it was compacting 15,000 words into 3 minutes.
Yeah.
For you, I suppose where did you take the source material for your 3-minute thesis?
Yeah, it's mostly my thesis. So
mostly your thesis.
60,000
Oh
words
my
or
God.
something. Yeah.
By the way, congratulations
Thank
on
you.
your PhD.
Thank you. Well, yeah, almost. So I still have to do the printed version, but yeah, my corrections are finally approved this morning.
That's the hard bit, right?
Yeah, the hard bit is over. Yeah.
Amazing. How are you feeling?
Good. Somewhat relieved as well, I think. It's because it's like,
imagine.
4 or even 5 years at this point of just kind of grinding it out. And it's been really interesting, and I've enjoyed it, but it is nice to kind of come to the end where you're like, okay, here it is, the thing.
Yeah, for us it's a completely different thing, right? It was 2-year MSc, but once we delivered the dissertation, it took almost a year to graduate.
Yeah.
So the tension kind of stayed there.
Yeah.
How is it going to be for you? When do you?
So I would hope to graduate in July.
This July?
Yeah.
Amazing.
I hope so.
Okay.
Depending if they have like available slots or something, because you have to sign up.
Yes.
But yeah, I know what you mean about the tension, because even though I had my Viva in mid-December, I've been kind of carrying it around. Like, even though it's fine, like I passed the Viva, but still you're kind of like, oh, what if something crazy happens?
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
What if something I haven't thought about
Yeah.
I get an email like, why haven't you done this?
Yeah.
Like, So 5 years.
Yeah, I submitted my thesis after 4 years, so right to the kind of to the end, and then now I've been finishing up bits and bobs of research that I had kind of started that didn't go into my thesis. So a bit more works on focusing on ethics of social robots and robots for well-being. So I'm working on one paper where we kind of had community-based investigations. And we talked to different communities about what they think about ethics of using well-being robots. And then another paper is that I started while I did my research visit at MIT. So I'm still working on that, and hopefully that will be.
Yeah, I saw on your profile that you worked at the MIT Media Lab, which is like epic. and now in King's College London. So King's College Cambridge.
Oh no,
Sorry.
I'm at Clare Hall.
Ah, you're at Clare Hall.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right
I thought
down
you
the
were
road,
Kings
actually.
Okay, I thought you were Kings with Alva.
Yeah.
So how did you get here? Can you tell me a bit about your background? So you're
So I'm from Finland. I did my bachelor's and my master's there.
Okay.
And then I
On
worked in engineering. So my bachelor's was bioinformation technology.
Bioinformation.
Yeah. So that was also kind of human technology interaction, but it was more from a different perspective, like not this kind of agent technology that like maybe robots are or AI might be, or agentified technology, but more like, oh, what if you had like an implant inside of your body for medical reasons,
like biomedicine, like bioengineering for medicine.
Bioengineering,
Medical devices.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, fascinating.
Yeah. But I did then my master's in information networks, which was kind of, it's not very self-explanatory, the name.
Information networks.
What does it mean? It's a really cool interdisciplinary program. They have like coding and some design and business. So it's this kind of, that's kind of where my interdisciplinarity started to form more, I think. Yeah. Also, somewhere in there, I did a minor in art school. So I kind of got around like
I admired that so much. So I think I didn't tell this. I'm an engineer as well. I did engineering, and then I got into philosophy.
Right.
But I'm also like I DJ as well. That would be my artistic side. Yeah. And I love it.
Nice.
I love it. But I left all my gear in Mexico. One day I'll bring the speakers, the mixer, the controller, everything.
Yeah.
I was gonna sell everything, but I said no. I'll sell it. And I was telling my wife about this, that when I looked at your whole profile and some of the links we spoke about, like you worked on a project with the ballet, but I'm getting ahead of myself. First, I want to ask you about the robot in Helsinki, because I suppose. Well, how do you get to robots? Because information technology, and then how did your interests began with robotics?
Yeah, it started kind of during my master's thesis. So I was working at a Finnish IT consultancy, and they were exploring robotics projects. So they were actually building this open source robot that's 3D printed called InMove. Which is designed by Gael Langevin. I'm sure I'm pronouncing his name wrong, but and so they were kind of making that robot, and they were thinking about ways to put the robot to good use, basically. And so they were having a project with this Satakunta hospital district in Finland to look at how robots could help autistic children with communication therapy. And so my master's thesis ended up being wrapped around that kind of topic, where I was looking at how the InMove robot could do assistive sign language to help with the communication. So basically like communication therapy. And there we were working with the company I was working at, but also neuroscientists and a speech therapist. And we were kind of co-designing the robot. So that's where that started, the interest to develop in robots.
And then how do you find out about the MIT Media Lab? And how did you apply, or did you find a program?
Yeah, that was so my supervisor Hatija Gunesh was super helpful with that. So she kind of helped me, or she facilitated the contact toward MIT Media Lab, and they were really kind of gracious and like helpful also to invite me come visit there. So I was working with Dr. Haewon Park, and she was my supervisor there. And it was in Professor Cynthia Brazil's personal robots group. So I was there for around 5 months. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's in Boston, I suppose. Right?
Yeah. Although it's like Cambridge, which is not part of Boston, which I thought Cambridge was inside of Boston before I went there. I was really confused. Yeah.
It's
a different city, I guess. Like
city, close by.
Yeah, it's like over the bridge.
Oh,
yeah,
I see.
yeah.
Did you enjoy your time there? Did you like it?
I did. It's quite an interesting environment. It's like very big, you know, like the media lab is quite big. There's like many floors, lots of different labs, and very kind of communal feeling, I think. Like the students really like socialize with each other. There's lots of events going on. And
And why is it called media? You know, because they do
Yeah.
a lot of tech, right?
Yeah, I suppose the media is not, it's interpreted more in like tech mediated, like the tech is the media from which we communicate with each other, you know, with systems. Or,
Like the interface.
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you said, I want to keep going. Yeah. Now you're a full academic.
Yeah. So actually the Media Lab thing, I came back like a year ago. So that was already kind of later into my PhD journey. So the timeline was kind of like, did my master's thesis in Finland. Then I was like, oh, I want to explore robots more. I did a couple of robotics projects at the IT consultancy I was at. So that's where the Helsinki library robot kind of came from.
Okay.
And then I thought, well, I want to keep doing robots, but it seems like there's more happening in academia than in industry. So I started looking into that as an option. I was a kind of junior visiting researcher at a lab in Lisbon. So I moved to Lisbon for 4 months to work with Professor Ana Paiva.
Fala pouco de português?
No. I learned a bit while I was there, but I feel like it's mostly dissipated, unfortunately. But yeah, it was a super cool experience. I really like Lisbon.
I've never been to Lisbon. I might go in October.
Okay.
Maybe. A friend of mine, a good friend of mine, Phil Cotters, he lives in Brazil.
Yeah.
He has a project with the, I'm not sure, I think it's the Amazon. A big rainforest in Brazil. Perhaps it's connected to the Amazon. And they're doing some work with Portugal as well.
Okay.
So what would you recommend me do there? Which
Wow. I would love to have like a trip in Lisbon and like visit
Just
all my
to
old haunts. Yeah, there's like great beaches. Although October maybe is not like beach.
not the beach.
Beach
the
weather.
best weather. Yeah.
Yeah. They have like really nice restaurants. I could send you like a list of restaurants I used to go to.
Nice.
Yeah, I miss
So
the
then-
food mostly.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
So you spent some time on like there, and then what happened next?
So then I decided I wanted to do a full-on like PhD. Sweet.
So you decided. How did you decide you wanted to do a PhD? Is it because of the industry versus academia that not a lot was going on in the industry side, but there's a lot going on in the robotics academia side?
I guess that was part of it, but then also I've just always really loved school. So I guess
really?
Yeah, like I like learning. I like writing. I like reading,
nice.
writing. I by that time I had written a couple papers. I was like, yeah, I actually really like this. So
Nice.
yeah, I want that. That was kind of my reasoning.
It is a very specific skill, right? Like, and for engineers as well. More so, I would say. Like in humanities, everyone has to write.
Right, yeah.
But in engineering, to pursue research and theory, I think and ethics, it's like, we need more.
Yeah.
We need more of that.
Yeah.
So you figured out that connection of different skills and said, there's a future for me here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing.
I think so.
So how was the process? And I'm also asking because I want to learn, eventually I want to do my PhD.
Yeah.
So how was that process for the PhD application?
Yeah, I applied. I applied at Cambridge. I also applied at other places, but with Cambridge, the kind of research interest was a really good match. So Hatija, the professor in my lab, she had a project around well-being robots already, which I actually didn't know when I was applying. And my project was also investigating robots for well-being. So it was like a really good, there's the project already going on. So it's a really good research match. And of course, it's Cambridge.
Yeah.
Like you can't really overlook that.
Of course.
Yeah.
Even if they say like, for the PhD, the most important thing is the match, right? But the university and the city matter as well, right?
Yeah,
and of course, if you found the match, then there's no more questions to ask.
Yeah. And
when
I guess
was that? In what year was that?
So I came in 2020. So I was
COVID.
Yeah. It was kind of weird. Yeah. So I was in Lisbon till end of 2019. Then I was in Finland for half a year, kind of with all the COVID stuff going on. Also working on Lila, the immersive artwork. And then I moved here.
In 2019.
Early 2020. Yeah, like early 2020. And then October 2020, I came here. Yeah. I feel like I need like a piece of paper to like draw.
But it's a helpful exercise to,
Yeah. Like, what did I do?
Yeah. Time is a weird concept. Like so much happens. I was thinking yesterday, like here in my home, like so much has happened since I arrived, like since January, but there's no way to remember every day. You just remember some bits. But in a way, as humans, we live all through that, but we just remember some bits of it. That's why I think it's interesting to record stuff.
Yeah, that's very true.
Like it's crystallizing a moment that we can revisit at any given point.
Yeah.
And so
and it's funny to like watch yourself from earlier, because before this I was kind of thinking kind of in a meta way, like that there'd be like a recording of me in this time. And I went on YouTube and I like searched for myself to see, and there was like a talk I gave before my PhD, like when I was doing my master's. Like, wow, that's what I was like, then.
It's like getting to know your past self.
Yeah.
And well, of course, when this goes out, you're gonna have your PhD. Yeah. You're gonna
it should be.
It should be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Knock on wood.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing. So how was the timing during COVID here? Was the lockdown?
Yeah, it was an odd time to move to a new country, because I hadn't lived in the UK before. Of course, the college, the Clare Hall College where I am, they were
close by.
It's really close by.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
I think I've seen Clare Hall stuff here.
Yeah.
It's
It's a nice one. It's like post.
I have to visit.
Yeah, you should come
give me
visit.
A tour. Yeah.
Well, while I'm still there, like we have like 1 month left, so you should come.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Yeah. So how was the time with COVID here?
Yeah, it was
weird.
It was weird. It was kind of a difficult time to start something new, because of course you're hoping to make connections and form community, and that was much more challenging because of all the restrictions in place, like for good reason to have restrictions. But the college, of course, was very careful with the restrictions as well, and I was living in college, so that was...
There was a lot of fear.
Yeah, the atmosphere was a bit kind of fearful or...
Worried, cautious.
A bit
of everything.
Yeah.
I still think as humanity we are still processing COVID. I think we haven't really stopped to think about everything that happened. Historians will have a lot of work. Yeah. They are having a lot of work, I suppose, in understanding everything that happens. It completely changed the world. Yeah. And but in the end, you stayed here. So you started your PhD. I suppose in a strange way, it helped you focus or no?
Perhaps. Yeah, perhaps. And the first year was a good time to like form foundations and read a lot, because, events weren't really happening. So so perhaps in a way. And I also got really close with the people that I did socialize with, because we spent a lot of time together. So I got to know lots of people at Clare Hall, because that was kind of my social circle. Good
Amazing.
friends.
Yeah, like more depth.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
Less breadth.
Yeah,
for
sure.
Width. Yeah.
Yeah. But it is nice to see now, like, for instance, SyS, the new kind of center for
human center inspired
intelligence or artificial intelligence.
Yes, AI centered. Yeah. I never remember, because CH Center for Human Inspired AI. I think that's right.
I think that's right. Yeah.
Someone is gonna say like, you guys have to get it right.
What are you talking about? Yeah.
So it was big. It was starting.
So I think that kind of started like last year. So I'm happy to see that since the time that I was kind of in my first year and a bit like, where's my community? Like, it feels like there's more community now kind of forming. And,
because the CFI was before, the one I belonged to in the it was before, and then before that there was CSER, right? Center for the Existential Risks.
Yeah.
I think that was the first one, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know the timeline.
Yeah, that could be. Yeah, I think during the start of my PhD, I wasn't so kind of involved with CFI, CSER, like those kind of, because computer lab, the computer science department is like here in West Cambridge, right? So it's almost even geographically kind of isolated.
I see.
And so there wasn't a lot of cross talk, which maybe there might have been before.
That is so interesting,
but
right?
during COVID, like I, as a first year who just moved here, I didn't really have that like access to that kind of,
The city is small, but it's so compacted. And there's so much going on in every corner of the city.
Yeah.
You can stay here, for all your life and, not meet certain, of course, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So then after the lockdown started opening, you started to navigate more and connect with other.
Yeah. Yeah.
We all wanted that, right? We, as humans, we need, interaction. That's how it is. That's how it is. And, just as a side note on this, like, Oxford and Cambridge don't have a train that connects them.
It's really unfortunate.
It is, it's, one would say it would be obvious, but then someone told me that they actually tried it.
I've heard that too.
At some point, there was a train that connected Oxford and Cambridge, and then there wasn't enough demand, and then they shut it down.
Really?
There was one of those programs that looked for efficiency and where to shut down and where to open,
right?
And then they shut it down. But getting the right people to have the right conversation is really essential for academia.
Yeah,
and.
Sure.
Anyways, and there's a whole conversation of like the other place and all that beef and all that. But I mean, as a humanity, we gotta, get over those things. I don't know. Have you been to Oxford? Have you been in contact with Oxford?
A little bit. So there's a group of people doing kind of human-centered design for AI and that kind of stuff. So I joined one of their seminars, but there's also this nice conference, which is Women in Computer Science conference for Cambridge and Oxford. So every other year it's here, every other year it's in Oxford.
Cool.
And I presented there, and that's I think a really good resource.
It is
people to kind of network across.
And I've heard that there are conversations to do this train connection again.
I hope so. That would be amazing.
So. That would be
I love trains.
You love trains, really?
I mean,
Is it your preferred?
It's a good way of transport. It's so like ecologically friendly compared to other.
And it's easier.
Yeah. It's very convenient.
Yeah. So I went to Finland once.
Yeah?
Yeah, I have a good friend there. Yeah. Jared Bauer. He's actually coming to Cambridge at some point.
Okay.
Yeah. His career started as a YouTuber and now he's in the gaming industry.
Oh, okay.
He plays. He works in the company that makes several games, among them Angry Birds.
Right, okay.
Which is Finnish.
Rovio. Yeah,
Rovio. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, and I love Finland. It was amazing. I just had so much fun. I went in the summer as well. It wasn't really...
Summer is the best,
Yeah. Do you miss Finland?
I do miss Finland. I haven't been there in the summer for a bit, so I hope this summer I can go.
What do you miss most? Not family, other than family. Because I think that would be one of the top, right?
Yeah. Sunshine, nature, sauna, swimming, kind of all this. Sauna is a big one. There's like really nice saunas and public saunas in Helsinki as well. Also like community-run saunas. Like I think that stuff is amazing.
It is a cool culture, right?
Yeah.
Like we stayed at an Airbnb and it was like apartments and they weren't big or anything, but there was a nice sauna there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's an interesting choice of
sauna everywhere.
Wow. And how does that work? Like there are benefits, there are, it's kind of like a meditation and socialization. Or no, you don't really talk.
Yeah, I guess it depends on the occasion.
Okay.
I guess the stereotype is like Finnish people don't talk so much, but I don't know how true that actually is. I think that's like just a stereotype, which is not true.
It's hard to generalize, I guess.
Yeah, but it's like... it could be a social occasion as well. Like when I was a student, there would be like saunas at parties sometimes.
At parties?
Yeah, and when I was working in the IT consultancy in Finland, they also had a sauna, so people would go there on like Friday.
The company?
Yeah.
So wait. What sauna parties? How does that work? Like,
I guess you just like chill in the sauna and chat and go on the balcony. Yeah, but obviously you can't go crazy with it because of the safety.
Dangerous.
Yeah.
Because you're also like sweating,
dehydrating. Yeah. So you should be careful. But yeah, I think sauna is still a big part of the culture.
It's very interesting.
Yeah.
Why is there so much like sauna culture?
I don't know the origins of like how that.
It's ancient, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose. And then also we have the vihta or vasta.
What is that?
It's like a. People are always like, "What is that?" It's like a.
Can you pronounce that again?
Vihta. Yeah.
Vihta.
It's like a bunch of sticks with the leaves still on, and then you like do it on your skin. So it's supposed to be good for like blood flow.
Like, and it's like, it smells great, like eucalyptus, or no?
Yeah, you could, but then you could also use like the local koivu, what is birch.
Birch.
and
So a
it
kind of
smells-
wood.
Yeah,
Birch,
yeah. It's really nice. Yeah.
And what does it do?
It's supposed to be good for your kind of blood flow on your like the small vein capillary.
Like a massage.
Yeah, it's also like a massage.
like
type deal.
promotes blood flow, I guess.
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something.
yeah,
Really cool.
yeah.
Yeah. So you haven't been to Finland for a while.
Not for a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to go. And I like summer for me is really the time to go. Winter is nice too, but it's quite
Yeah.
dark, especially if there's no snow. So
Do you care? Do you mind about the cold? Because like for my family and I, we
Yeah.
got here in January.
Yeah.
And it was hard. It was brutal because Mexico is like completely, the other way around.
Yeah, I don't really mind cold like outside. Especially, I would rather that it be below freezing because then you could get snow. So, but like in the UK, it's kind of like 2 degrees, so you don't really get not even 2, like 5. I don't know. But then also in the UK, it's also cold inside of the house, which I think is much more frustrating.
And that is
Yeah.
yeah. I think that was the strange thing, right?
Yeah.
And then the clothes for us, like in Mexico, you just wake up, you wear whatever and get out.
Yeah.
And in the winter, you have to you need the gloves and you need everything. It's a whole ritual. and
Yeah.
To get in and get out of the house, and then with our baby with Emma, it's like starting, and she doesn't like gloves. She doesn't like hats.
Get these off.
Yeah, at the beginning. But then we got her a suit, like a full suit, and she just loved it. And like she wanted to sleep with the
Like
suit.
like a sock, like a baby sock.
Exactly.
Kind of.
One of those like onesies,
Yeah.
but really, really warm. And she just didn't want to, remove it. She wanted to
Yeah.
sleep with it. It was fun as well.
That's so sweet.
And then there was a hard thing to remove that from her. It was so hard. But anyways, so going on about Helsinki, I went to the library there, and it was fantastic.
Yeah.
What an experience! You don't feel in a library. It's like so much natural light,
Yeah.
so open spaces.
Yeah.
Is that where the robot was?
Yeah. So Audi, right? The like central, with the big
Yeah,
upper
the
floor
central
with
one.
the plants and like the big,
Exactly. And then you have like audiovisual rooms. You can rent
Yeah,
like
it's
guitars
amazing.
and you can actually do like sewing, and
Yeah.
it was like that was life-changing experience for me.
I love that library. That's one of my favorite places in Finland, I think. Like
Really?
other than sauna, we'll go to Audi.
Amazing.
I think such a good concept for like because they have this kind of for people, for citizens, like resources for learning. Like as you said, sewing, they have 3D printers, they have all kinds of workshops to learn stuff. I really love
DJing
that.
gear they had.
They do,
Yeah,
really.
You can, yeah.
It's amazing.
For me, it was like, wow, because those are all expensive things to own. So you can go and use them and learn.
Yeah.
And it's like a library of things as well.
Yeah.
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 So did you spend a lot of time there?
Yeah, I would hang out there sometimes. But yeah, as we were doing the robotics project, of course, I was spending a lot of time there. So we were working with the librarians and we were kind of piloting the robot and asking library customers what do they think about the robot. And yeah.
Like, were you part of a team? And because you designed some of the interactions, I read that you actually added some eyes, and that changed the whole thing.
Yeah. It was. So I was working at the consultancy Futurists at that time, and we had a project with Audi to explore how they might use robots or social robots, and we had a workshop with them. So I created this kind of participatory design tool for social robots that we used in that workshop. So we had both librarians and library customers and then roboticists from Futurists come together.
I like that.
Yeah. And then the kind of use case for the robot came from the librarians and the library customers themselves, which I think that was really key to the robot being actually useful. So the thing with Audi at that time was it had just opened and people were still kind of figuring out where, is the psychology section, where are the bathrooms even. And the librarians were spending quite a bit of time with these kind of 1-2 minute tasks of like helping people find the kind of sections where they're actually really highly trained to help people find resources, like specific resources, help find information. And so these little tasks were kind of taking away from that time.
I see.
So the idea was to have the robot do those kind of simple guidance tasks, which would like free up the librarian's time to help with the kind of sophisticated information searching.
Yeah, more, how can we put it? Like not time consuming, much more energy consuming, intellectually consuming.
Yeah, like where you want to chat with a person who has like that knowledge that you're looking for.
So did it work?
Yeah. Librarians thought that, it was doing what it was supposed to be doing. Customers were, of course, really fascinated by it. And like children especially were really curious about it. But I mean, adults too. They're like, oh, what's this? But it was kind of a pilot study.
So it was for a while. It was not there.
The one with the googly eyes, the guidance one, that one is not there anymore. But they are still using robots, which were already there prior to our project, for taking books from like one level to the other of the library. So transporting books. There's also in their basement. So
the robots go into the elevator, go up, and that's pretty cool.
It's really cool, and I think that helps with. Because you could get like repetitive strain injury, right? If you're like constantly like picking up with heavy stuff. So that's great for robots. Injury.
Yeah, I got hurt one time. I was carrying a table. I used to work at I've worked on a bit of everything. I worked on a venue, like a cultural venue, and we did all kinds of crazy events, like experiences and cooking stuff, and then conferences and workshops. And I'm a very hands-on guy, and I wanted to carry a table and and I fell to the floor. It is really, and I stood there like for a while. I don't know how to say it in English. Nervio ciático, that's in Spanish.
Okay. Sciatic nerve?
There we go, sciatic nerve. Oh, you still got some Spanish. You still got some Spanish. And I got there for I was flat for like 4 hours. They had to call an ambulance and it was horrible.
I'm sorry.
So I suppose, those kind of things, of course, if that's your repetitive thing. So that's one big theme of, or the main theme of robots, isn't it? Of like looking for a solution for those dangerous, boring, disgusting jobs, because sometimes, think maybe sewers or trash and stuff.
Yeah.
We need people, we need someone to do all of the difficult jobs in the world. So I suppose that would be one of the guiding principles of robotics.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, so Kate Darling, a roboticist, she has a book called The New Breed, where she talks about these kind of roles of robots where they're doing dangerous jobs. Like, I think one of the examples she gave was like in a sewer, you can have like a robot that's clearing the sewer, or dangerous work, which is, appropriate for robots.
Yeah. And in the library, focus humans on doing other things. And do you see a future where every library has robots?
I think like if it were helpful, sure, but I feel like it shouldn't be like, oh, every library needs robots. Okay. It's more about if the librarians think that there's something that the robot should be doing, or library customers, So we envisioned kind of with the librarians and the library customers, other use cases also for robots. I think one of them was this kind of helping with language translation, like basic language translation. So if they see a use, then sure. But it shouldn't come from the outside.
I see.
Yeah, in my opinion.
Like a hammer looking for...
Yeah, exactly.
For a nail. It's more like pull instead of push.
Yeah.
And maybe size-wise, like if it's sufficient, big enough in size and budget, of course. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's one thing. Like, robots were to be out there in the world in the long term, they might need maintenance, like software updates. So it's not kind of like you just put it out, like everything, every device needs.
Nothing is fully automated.
Yeah.
There's no such thing, I think.
Yeah.
For now.
Yeah.
So jumping a bit to the arts, tell me about Lila. That's a project?
Yeah, Lila, yeah.
How did you get involved in that? That was fascinating.
My
wife's an artist.
Really?
She does oil paint. That's why I'm here. We came to the UK because of her.
Oh,
she got a global talent visa in the arts.
That's so cool.
Yeah, we can show you her work.
I would love to see.
Actually, in the summer, it's called Cambridge Open Studios. Have you heard about it?
Oh, I think I've heard of it, yeah.
Where artists all around Cambridge open their homes. So to invite Patricia's gonna do an expo there.
Wow.
Here. So in her,
That's so great. So you both have your studio here. You have the upstairs.
Yes. We used to work together in the same space in Mexico, back home. And it was, I miss some bits and I don't miss other bits. You know?
Yeah.
Because we spoke a lot and the ideas flow. But then again, when you have your own space,
Yeah.
you can focus more private, less interruptions.
Yeah.
And we used to share a lot of stuff, but then where did you put this? Where did you put that? It was, yeah. But now we have our own studios. Yeah.
Cool.
So, well, Laila, sorry. I
yeah.
got distracted. I tend to get quite distracted. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So Lila, it was this competition organized by Opera Beyond, which is like this, I guess, conference series or this vision by the Finnish National Opera. And then it was the, pop singer Paula Vesala, and she's also an actress. She does a lot of stuff. She's amazing in Finland. And Esa-Pekka Salonen, who's a conductor.
I would never pronounce it. I would never be able to pronounce it like that.
Yeah, so he's a conductor and like musician and like all-time musical genius, I suppose. So, yeah.
Wow. He was the main guy in the interview the YouTube interview.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. And so they had this call for an artistic work under the theme of memories of the future. And they asked for people to send their proposal. And then they selected a bunch of people or like different teams to work on their proposals in this kind of 3 day kind of event.
Memories of the future.
Yeah.
How does it, like future memories?
So they had this prompt. I think there was like a story form prompt, and then there was like a musical prompt, I think. And those were kind of to give you ideas to think about what operatic artwork, like immersive artwork on the theme of memories of the future could be. So then our team thought about that and like came up with an idea, and they liked that idea, so we went on to pursue. That
installation was fantastic.
It's really cool. I think it turned out really cool.
Not only the visual, but the audio, the engineering. I'm like, well, the video doesn't make it. There's no way to make it justice with just a 2D video.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So Tuomas Norvio was working on the kind of audio engineering and musical side as well as Esa-Pekka Salonen. And then we had our team, Echo Collective, which is, I think at the time,
Echo
7
Collective,
of us.
You were involved in Echo Collective, right?
Yeah, so I'm one of the co-founders. Of course, now that I've been in the UK, I've been less involved. So they're working on another artwork now where I was kind of involved more at the start with the like conceptual phase, but now it's evolving. Like they've been working on it for a couple of years now. So that's going to be, it's Rauhankone, which is a peace machine. And that's going to be Peace Machine. It's part of the European Cultural Capital Festival of 2026, I think.
Wow.
Yeah. So, yeah. And there was another artwork after Lila, which was part of a museum in Finland. It's like in the entryway. It's in their permanent collection. So when you walk in, it's like this massive wall of meditative. It's also like interactive.
Wow. So in Lila, the idea was to deconstruct theater, right?
Yeah, I think this is the vision that was, especially with like the opera, the Finnish National Opera and Ballet, what they set out to do was explore kind of new forms of opera.
New forms of opera.
Yeah.
But this was immersive. Like you're in it.
And I think one of the kind of, in an opera, you have a fairly kind of traditional, narrative arc.
And interface.
Yeah. With Lila, because it's also interactive, one of the things we were exploring was this kind of trade-off maybe between interactivity and how the person can shape the narrative in the work, but then also having this operatic tale in the work, that there is a clear climax to the work.
From what I saw, there were a lot of abstract imagery, but there's some story in it as well.
It's more abstract level story, but we had this idea of like utopia, dystopia, and like protopia. So
what is a protopia?
It's like more like a realistic version of utopia, kind of like a good future that we could all work toward almost.
Yeah, I've read a bit about solar punk and cyberpunk. Those punks.
Yeah, but all the punks.
The punks. There are some other weird ones like I think it was bronze punk or steampunk, those biopunks. And they try to, but they're still very futuristic. So a protopia would be a realistic version of the future in a way.
I think that's how we were approaching it what would be our maybe best realistic future, like something like this. Yeah. So
Among
the work
all
had
the
like
possible futures.
yeah, yeah.
But I mean, well, now in what year was this?
2020 it came out.
2020.
Right? Yeah.
And now with the capabilities that have been developed by NVIDIA and all the, large language models and all of this new AI robotics, new advancements in industry, they could potentially create real-time, high-quality video feedback. Like you interact and the video is created and shown to you. So
Yeah. That could be something to like explore.
Like a Lila 2.0 with instead of abstract narratives, real story. Because in the gaming industry, I play a lot of video games.
Yeah.
My computer is built for video games. And of course for Photoshop and Premiere, editing video, but mainly for video games, to be honest.
Yeah.
That's why I got the good GPU. But the video game industry is already exploring that, like creating characters and narratives live.
That is really interesting.
Do you think that would be applied also to robotics? Could that be?
Yeah, like we've used large language models to some extent on. Actually, that's an interesting connection that I hadn't really thought about. But because we want so for my robotic mental well-being coach that I was working on for my PhD, the robot was doing kind of positive psychology exercises, and these exercises they follow a certain format, which has been kind of defined in the literature, which human coaches use. Like it's kind of proven to work in a sense, like it can help people feel better. And to operationalize those exercises on the robot, you kind of want to follow the same structure.
The ones that work.
The ones that work.
Have been proven.
Yeah, exactly. But like in one of our earlier studies where the robot was exactly following a script, people were saying, it's not really responsive enough. It's not really acknowledging what we're saying. So now with large language models, it is much more possible to acknowledge what people are saying, because in the past it would be more based on like keywords, and you might have a certain number of options what the robot could say.
Like branching out.
Yeah, exactly. But now it's you can generate much more in response to what the person is saying. However, you can't just do that as in you just like plug and play, like you just put a large language model inside a robot. You need like to design that interaction still. So what we did in a later study was we had like scaffolding of the structure of the positive psychology exercise. And at certain appropriate points, we would use the large language model to generate like acknowledging utterances. So it's like this sandwich of like,
wow,
so
much work.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but it was like a good design decision to do it that way. But like the connection I was making was like, oh, that's also kind of a balance between the structure, but then acknowledging and like interacting. That was in Lila also, kind of. So I'm like,
there are connections.
Threads connecting.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have gotten, all of those projects, I think, were part of this whole thing. So diving deep now into your PhD. So 5 years. I'm interested in how does the research go? Like year 1, year 2, year 3.
Yeah.
Because you shared with me, you told me it was one of the main papers, but that means there's a lot of papers and then you put them all together. How does that work? And not only in form, but also in content. How did you do this journey?
Yeah, it's a process. There's highs and lows and like, and I think the whole time you grow and you learn from what you did previously. In my first year, I did like, so it was COVID, so that was a bit limiting, of course. So I did some kind of interviews and focus groups with prospective users and professional wellbeing coaches to kind of scope out the design of what would a robotic wellbeing coach be. So the question we're answering was, could a robot help with people's well-being? And specifically in the context of a workplace for me. So we did deployments at a workplace eventually with the robot. So the whole process was this kind of human-centered design process where we go from this like scoping, talking to prospective users, professional well-being coaches, like, oh, what should the robot be like? What should it do? What well-being exercises could it do? All the way to creating design and ethical guidelines that kind of are based on what we gathered there earlier, based on the interviews and the workshops, and then creating a robot according to the guidelines, and then testing that robot in deployments, or it's more like a controlled study in a real world environment, but at a workplace in Cambridge. So it's a lot of work, but it's really cool to see it come from like an idea stage all the way to, oh, actually employees are using this.
So is that the ground theory approach? Is that it, or is that something else?
I suppose like in the analysis to like create the guidelines, there's some like grounded theory, like, okay, we're moving from our observation or interviews and workshops and that data gathered there to like create this kind of guidelines and almost like a theory around which to like design the robot. But it's like a research through design approach.
Research through design.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is a very delicate set of themes, right?
Yeah.
Like
for sure.
mental health
Yeah.
and the workplace.
Yeah.
And wow, I congratulate you on tackling such a
Thank you.
such a big thing.
I mean, tackling, it's just, it's just one PhD thesis. There's so much more work to do, right?
Yeah,
like,
of course.
I think that's one of the things, like the process of the PhD, it's kind of, it helps you realize like you can know some things, but you can't know everything. Like it's science, it's such a collaborative process, and like everyone makes their contribution, and hopefully we're like moving together toward some kind of better knowledge and answers. But like, there's many people working with robots for well-being.
So complex.
Yeah.
So complex. And especially with like it's a new, it's hard to say if it's a new, well, social robots is a new industry, right?
Yeah.
Because robots, because how would we define a robot?
I don't think the field has like one definition, right? For robots.
Right?
Yeah.
Even AI, there's no definition of AI.
Yeah.
It is, that kind of bothers me, because we, well, I shouldn't say we, I've done research, very humble research compared to what you've done, but I'm also in AI from the master's I did. It is hard to stay years and years working on something and the definitions are not set out.
Yeah.
Especially as a philosopher, it's hard because like what are we doing? What are we aiming for? What are we striving for?
Yeah.
But I suppose with Alva, we spoke a bit about this because there is like industrial robots, social robots, and then there's personal robots. We spoke about this idea, like each of us having a robot that understands us. Pets. You also mentioned pet. With talking to the people, how are their reactions during these processes?
Yeah. The idea of pets came up like very early in my research process. So that's one idea that I didn't really get to explore, but I think could be really interesting. One of the things that came up in my research was people want the function of the robot to match its form. So basically, like if the robot is more like human-like, has like a human shape, they would expect more like a conversational interaction. Whereas if it were more like a animal shape or like abstract shape, maybe they would approach it more as a pet. It would have more of like a pet role. So they would want to take care of themselves by taking care of the robot in a way.
Caring for the robot. Yeah, in a way that has a mental health impact.
Yeah, and they were also envisioning things like, oh, the robot could like remind you to do the exercises by just like, I don't know, nudging you or like poking you or So like a less conversational way of doing it, but that could also work potentially.
I asked you, you like dogs, right? Have you had pets?
I just hamsters.
Just hamsters.
No,
okay. Yeah, it's interesting. Like the interaction.
Fish too. Don't forget the fish.
Too?
Yeah.
Of course.
But it's less like this cuddly kind of experience.
It's a kind of different thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lara is really like part of the family.
Yeah,
like
very
it's
sweet.
but I suppose in the future there will be pet robots that are parts of.
There could be. Yeah.
What do you think about anthropomorphization?
Yeah.
Because it's a big thing, right?
I think there's like two kind of almost entangled concepts, like anthropomorphizing and then anthropomimesis, who I think like
I don't know.
Henry has talked about.
Henry Shevlin.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that term. You know Henry?
Yeah. We've chatted a little bit. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
He's a great guy.
Yeah.
He's a great guy.
Very
Yeah. I want to invite him to the podcast.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Cool.
Yeah.
Or you could chat to him. You know,
Actually, that'd be fun.
Yeah, he's and he plays Dungeons and Dragons. He tell you that?
No, he didn't. I used to. Yeah.
You did?
I used
Me
to.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
What kind of character did you play?
So I like wizards.
Okay,
you know,
yeah.
and I play Elden Ring. You know Elden Ring?
Yeah.
It's a Japanese RPG.
Yeah.
Well, not a Japanese. It's an action RPG by a Japanese designer, which I think is the best game in the world. You know, but Dungeons and Dragons is fantastic.
Yeah, it's so
what
fun.
did you still? No, you haven't.
I played in Finland and a little bit in
That's
Portugal.
cool.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
But I played a monk and a furbolg. You know? Furbolg is like a more obscure.
Yeah, but like in World of Warcraft, they're Folborgs. It's like bears.
Like an ogre kind of deal.
Ogre.
Because I was like, I want to be Shrek. So that was my inspiration.
Nice.
Yeah.
Amazing. It is so fun.
Yeah.
You know,
really fun.
many people don't understand what it is about.
Yeah.
But like, it is I think the Dungeons and Dragons, the actual role-playing game, is the most complex game in the world.
You can get very deep into it.
You can get very deep. I have some friends in Mexico that go really deep, you know, and I was honored to be invited to one of their play groups, and I kept on going once a week, and you get obsessed and you go into this world and you act and you do voices, and there's
really fun.
There's so fun. It's like my brother loves it as well.
Yeah.
He even did a series of podcasts where they did campaigns live, like live campaigns, and recorded it. It's so fun.
That's so fun.
Do you miss that? Do you miss playing Dungeons and Dragons?
Yeah, actually, I used to play with a person who was my master's thesis advisor.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was cool. But we like really became friends, and we're still like good friends. And he was the dungeon master.
Okay.
So yeah, we had a good group of people going.
It is an interesting role, right? To be the dungeon master.
Yeah, I've never tried it. I mean, I would be really curious to see how that would feel.
Although you need, you need a lot of time.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I think Henry's a dungeon master.
Is he?
He is.
I have to ask him next
On the
time.
first module, yes, ask him. Tell him I told you. On the first module on my master's, I spoke to him, and he showed me a bit of his campaigns. And now with AI, he went nuts. He's just started doing.
I would be. Wow.
He
I can
downloaded-
imagine somehow, like,
And he was in
He
the
would make the
cutting
most
edge.
of it, yeah.
You know, when Stable Diffusion was starting, he was generating images and, you know, his character. And then on our master's residential, he used to show the whole classroom, like, look, this is what I did before. And now, you know, to prove how the models were advancing.
Right.
So there's so much to do there. It's so fun. Yeah. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
We would love to have. And also, he does, he did a bit of research on this word. You said anthropomorphism.
Yeah, so
full circle.
Yeah. So I guess like the conceptual difference, like anthropomimesis is like you're designing to make it kind of evoke anthropomorphism. You see what I mean?
Because
like
mimesis is an ancient Greek word. Mimesis is really connected to aesthetics and art, right? Like both Plato and Aristotle were involved in this concept, which would be the representation aspect of art. So anthropomorphism.
Yeah, I think the distinction he was making, I hope I'm explaining it correctly, was like the mimesis maybe comes from the designer. They're creating the robot to evoke that kind of thing. Whereas morphism is maybe like your own perception of it, or the person's perception, perhaps. So trying to separate conceptually out this like perception and like how it's evoking the design of the physical robot and behavior.
The difference would be intention. If we're doing intentionally or unintentionally.
Yeah.
Because ChatGPT, for example, people anthropomorphize it all the time.
Yeah.
And but is there some intent from OpenAI?
Yeah, well, I guess.
The question. I guess so.
It is a chat interface, and we're used to there being a person on the other end. Yes, so you could say that it is a design decision to do it that way. Yeah.
So adding googly eyes to the robot in Helsinki, that was
it was also a design decision.
But which worked.
Yeah, it worked because it solved a couple problems. One was that kids, before adding the eyes, kids were kind of climbing on top of the robot. It was more like a plaything almost. But with the eyes, I feel like they were kind of approaching it more like, oh, what's this? Who's this? Maybe, I don't know. Also to signal intention of where the robot was going to be going, because it was moving around in the library with
No eyes.
Yeah, with no eyes, and people don't know where it's going to turn, right? But with the eyes, you can kind of try and signal like, oh, I'm turning this way, like turn the eyes and then...
Can avoid accidents.
Yeah,
perhaps.
so and people know how to work around it better.
Yeah, navigating around social... Because that's the thing, like how does the robot navigate a space with humans instead of like a dangerous factory looking for anomalies?
Yeah.
It's a completely different thing.
Yeah, very different.
And going down the anthropomorphization and anthropomorphism.
Yeah, but these words are...
They are very hard, yeah. What were the dangers or ethical implications? Have you, I'm sure you consider those in your work.
Yeah, it is kind of, it's a question also about how to communicate to people about robots and their capabilities and what they're useful for, what they aren't. So one of the kind of ethical guidelines I had in the paper out of my PhD for robotic mental well-being coaches in particular is to kind of talk to people of what the robot is good at, what it's bad at, to kind of help them understand
the limits of...
Yeah, the limits, yeah. So, like, it can talk to you about your well-being, but, like...
How deep could you...
Yeah, not super deep. And one of the distinctions we made was it's really not for, like, mental health, like clinical depression, anxiety.
Okay.
It's not equipped for that. I don't think it would even... Like, for therapy purposes, I feel like you have another human. That's part of the therapeutic process. But for well-being, where it's more about, okay, recall your... positive memory, and the theory behind positive psychology is when you think about the positive thing, those emotions, the positive emotions start to be strengthened, and that helps your well-being. And so
you focus on the good.
Yeah, exactly. But it's not really delving into this kind of negative experiences or like trauma.
Catharsis, which is needed as well.
Yeah. So I don't think that's the role of the robot. Really.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's one of the conclusions you came to. It shouldn't be.
You can't really know the future, right? But
She fell asleep.
Oh, so sweet.
I think that's good.
I think it shouldn't. Like, that's just my personal kind of opinion. But,
that's why we study. That's why we study. We study because we need to find good opinions, informed opinions.
Yeah.
Right? I think that's... have you met Dr. Johnny Penn?
No, but I know of his work. Yeah.
Okay. He, well, I don't know. He's really prolific. He writes a lot. He teaches a lot. But one of the concepts we spoke about was decomputerization. And the general idea that we shouldn't try to use computers and systems for everything.
Yeah.
Right? Like maybe there are some things that we should preserve.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's moving so fast.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah, you would agree with it. Yeah. To do like limits, like for example, like and that's the hard thing with industry, because industry is like this shark that just wants to devour more and more and get more users and revenue and data, and we know how it is, and power, and then like developing clear like what choose and what not choose. I think that'd be great.
Yeah, for sure.
So how was the conclusion part of your thesis?
Yeah, I think for writing the thesis, which is kind of explaining everything I did during the 4 years, reflecting on some of the findings in the thesis, thinking about future work, thinking with a more critical eye, reflecting on the design and ethical guidelines as well, like what future work needs to be done. So as you were talking about this, like before interacting with the robot, we want to kind of check that there's no mental health crisis going on. So what would need to happen to safeguarding to be done in the real world? Like that needs to be further explored, I think.
I've learned so much from you, from just some, you know. So yeah, and your work is fascinating, Minja. Really.
Thank you.
Minja.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Yes, because in Spanish the J is ja.
Yeah,
but
that's what I was called in
right?
Portugal before they knew how to pronounce it. They were all Minja or like kind of.
Minja.
And I was
like
no, it's
ninja.
Minja. And they were like, oh, that's weird because that means like mine. So it's very intimate to call me Minja. I'm like, well, I'm sorry, that's my name.
You could do a D&D character called Minja, which is a ninja version of you.
Yeah, definitely.
Minja, it's been great talking to you and getting to know you a bit better.
Yeah.
I hope we have many conversations down the road, and I look forward to hearing more from you and your exciting career.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It's been lovely.
Thank you so much, and congratulations again.
Thank you.
And let's stay in touch.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Gracias totales por ver este episodio de Sangre y Suerte, espero te haya gustado. Si conoces a alguien que le interese este contenido, por favor envíaselo. No olvides de dejar un me gusta y un comentario para el algoritmo. Si quieres estudiar filosofía más formalmente, revisa los links en la descripción de este video. Y espero que encuentres lo que estás buscando. Nos vemos por acá, fuerte abrazo.